So our first story is from Vercel announcing that Vercel Sandbox, what they call the secure compute environment for agents, is now generally available. And essentially what Vercel Sandbox is like a VM that you can spin up through the cloud and you can like clone Git repos to run Git commands, for example, or just run code that's quote unquote not safe, or run untrusted code on the system. And it's used a lot for like Claude Code. I don't know if they use Vercel Sandbox or who they use, but things like Claude Code in the web, for example, where it's like you send a prompt and then it clones the repo down and then runs on it and makes a PR. Those are usually using some sort of sandbox infrastructure. And it is interesting because I thought for a long time that all of these services like Cursor, etc., were just using like grep to evaluate these GitHub repos, but it does seem now that they're all using semantic search. So it would have to clone the repo down, create indexes, manage that, share indexes. That's all talked about in the Cursor semantic search blog post. But nonetheless, Vercel Sandbox is now generally available. Cloudflare also has a competing product that's very similar. And it'll be very interesting to see how we move towards these VM things. Like I've said before, like the age of AI really makes it so that all of these best practices kind of have to be utilized or are just much more easy to utilize as opposed to just, running untrusted code on like VMs that we have to spin up. We now have these APIs that we can just run sandboxes, and you can also snapshot sandboxes as well on Vercel. So if you have like a GitHub repo cloned, you can take a snapshot and you can spin up another sandbox without having to clone it all over again.